For nearly half a decade, the women's 400-meter hurdles have belonged to two athletes and two athletes only. Sydney, McLaughlin Levrone and Femke Bol have not merely dominated the event, they have redefined it with the only sub-51-second times in history. Yet when the World Athletics Championships return next month, the most compelling rivalry in women's track will be put on hold. McLaughlin Levrone is skipping the hurdles, and B is not thrilled. Maybe it's a bit of a disappointment. It's a shame, B told Dutch outlet NS after learning her American counterpart would not contest the 400-meter hurdles in Tokyo. McLaughlin Levrone, the reigning Olympic champion and world record holder, has instead opted to pursue the flat 400 meters, where she nearly broke the U.S. record during her victory at the USA Track and Field Championships on August 2nd. Bol acknowledged that her chances of defending the world title have significantly improved. Still, the 24-year-old Dutch star made it clear she would prefer to win the hard way. As a track and field enthusiast, I think it's great that she's going to do the 400, she said to Nas after the second place finish at the National Championships 200-meter sprint. But as an athlete, I'd love to run against her. That just hasn't happened very often. Indeed, their head-to-head meetings have been rare, but unforgettable. Bol has lost to McLaughlin Levrone 3 times at major global championships: Tokyo 2020, held in 2021, the 2022 Worlds, and the 2024 Olympics in Paris, where McLaughlin Levrone retained her title with another world record run. It's always unique to compete against her. I love it even though there's a very good chance I'll finish second. Bol added, she's the very best ever in the event I do, so it remains special. The timing of McLaughlin Levrone's switch comes just as Bol title in the event. She won gold in Budapest last year when McLaughlin Levrone was absent due to injury, while B will likely headline the hurdles in Tokyo. She has also entered in the 200m, a signal of her expanding range. Meanwhile, McLaughlin Levrone's entry into the 400 meters sets up a new battle, potentially against two-time Olympic gold medalist Shia Miller-Wibbo and reigning Olympic champion Marilady Paulino. The World Championships begin on September 13th and conclude on September 21st. But the showdown everyone was hoping for, Bol versus McLaughlin Levrone over the hurdles, will have to wait, perhaps once again until the Olympics. However, despite every ounce of disappointment, B did not fail to acknowledge the caliber of her rival. Fem hails Sydney McLaughlin Levrone as the finest in 400-meter hurdles. Femke Bol does not speak of Sydney McLaughlin Levrone as a rival to be overcome, but as a figure whose excellence shapes the standards of their event. When asked about the American, Bol's words were unhesitating. She's the best to ever do it. The remark was not a concession, but rather an acknowledgement from one champion to another, rooted in admiration for an athlete whose performances continue to redefine the outer limits of the 400-meter hurdles. B's respect extends beyond McLaughlin Levrone's dominance in their shared event. I always love to see her race, she exclaimed, noting the Americans' willingness to compete in the 100-meter hurdles and even the 100m flat. In Bol's view, such a range is rare. The ability to excel across disciplines is what makes her opponent remarkable. Observing these ventures is, she admitted, always a joy, suggesting that her own motivation is fueled as much by witnessing McLaughlin Levrone's versatility as by contesting her supremacy with McLaughlin Levrone's schedule, keeping them apart until the World Championships. The Dutch runner's focus remains on her own progression, yet the prospect of meeting the world record holder in peak form is never far from her mind. In acknowledging McLaughlin Levrone's achievements, without hesitation or qualification, B reveals a competitive spirit shaped not by antagonism, but by the challenge of matching an athlete she considers unparalleled. It is in this balance of respect and ambition that the essence of their rivalry lies, promising a meeting in Tokyo that will be as much about mutual recognition as it is about victory. With the World Athletics Championships just around the corner, the women's 400-meter hurdles is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated events on the track. But this time it's not just the battle for gold that's making headlines. It's the absence of one of the sport's most electrifying stars. In a candid pre-Worlds press conference in Budapest, Dutch sensation Femke Bol, the reigning European champion and world indoor record holder, dropped a line that sent shockwaves through the athletics community. Asked about her biggest rival, Sydney, McLaughlin Levrone, the Olympic champion and current world record holder, B. Sidade glanced briefly at the ground and then said, "It's a shame." The room went silent. Bol elaborated, her voice both measured and tinged with disappointment. "Sydney pushes me to be better. Every time I see her name on a start list, I know I have to bring my absolute best. She's not just a competitor. She's the benchmark in this event. And to be here so close to the biggest race of the year and not have her on the track, it changes everything. I'm sad for the sport. I'm sad for me. And honestly, I'm sad for the fans." Sydney McLaughlin Levrone had recently announced her withdrawal from the 400-meter hurdles at Worlds due to a lingering knee issue, instead focusing her season on the flat 400 before shutting things down to recover fully. It was a decision praised by coaches for its long-term wisdom, but lamented by fans craving the ultimate showdown. For Bol, the news was bittersweet. On one hand, her path to a potential first world title in the 400-meter hurdles was now less obstructed. On the other hand, the victory would never feel complete without facing the reigning queen of the event. "If I win gold, I'll celebrate," B. admitted, "but I'll always know the race could have been even more special if Sydney was there. It's like playing the final without your strongest opponent. You still get the trophy, but part of the story is missing." Her honesty struck a chord. Social media lit up within minutes of her statement. Some fans praised her sportsmanship, calling it the mark of a true champion. Others speculated whether this was subtle mind games, acknowledging McLaughlin Levrone, while also positioning herself as the sports torchbearer in her absence. In